What would have happened if Dutch from Karate Kid 1 had picked the fight with Mike Barnes? Obvious response to that is that Mike Barnes would have won. Or would he? Hope you enjoy. What's up, boys and girls? This is Vin Jimfer. Hope you're having a smashing day. If this is your first time to the channel, don't forget to hit that like button and subscribe so you don't miss my upcoming videos. And for the rest of you, thank you for joining me once again. So today we're doing a little bit of movie geek theory. Once again, I'm gonna talk about something, just a theory that I have on a couple of things, and that is, if you remember Dutch, who was played by Chad McQueen, actually the son of the late Steve McQueen, he was sort of a bully and sort of a hothead and sort of crazy. And I always remember watching Karate Kid 1 thinking that guy was crazy. And he was sort of scared me every time. He was always the antagonist. There's this scene in the locker room, you know, when he really wants to just fight Daniel right there. And he's always kind of the antagonist, like he always wants Johnny to, you know, hit him hard, you know, like when they're dressed to the skeletons and everything. He wants to really hurt Daniel. Like, my theory is what happened to him is he probably became a criminal or something. I hope they, you know, pick up on this in season 2, actually tell the story what happened to all of those guys. But I've sort of always felt that Dutch and Mike Barnes were sort of on the same level of craziness and attitude. Now, just imagining those two guys going at it, not as adults, but at their prime, I'm leaning obviously towards Mike Barnes. But again, and I've said this so many times before when I've done these imaginary versus fights, that the thing about Mike Barnes is his trick was intimidation, and Dutch also had that whole intimidation thing going. But I remember watching those fights with Mike Barnes in the fights and the ones with Dutch in the tournaments. I'm talking about the tournaments now. Mike Barnes, he sort of, to me at least, I didn't think he was like enjoying hurting people. He was just really motivated by greed, you know. He used fear as a way to destroy the enemy, and it worked. It really worked. Like, Daniel was freaked out until he did this kata thing. I need to make an episode on that, by the way. And when I was watching Dutch fight, it sort of felt like he was really enjoying himself. And he sort of reminded me about Hawk. He was also just sort of enjoying hurting people somehow. That's my impression of Hawk. Like, he was like really bad and badass. And that's the idea that I got from Dutch. But I did get that from Mike. Mike sort of always, again, I keep repeating myself, but for me, Mike Barnes was always just motivated by greed, and he just didn't care who got hurt, and he used fear. And technically speaking, I think that it looked like Mike Barnes was technically the more skilled fighter. But, you know, when you saw Mike fighting, and you could sort of imagine his thoughts like going, oh, I'm gonna get paid, I'm just gonna beat up this guy. And when I was watching Dutch fight, the dialogue I heard, his inner dialogue, was more like, oh, I'm gonna hurt him, I'm gonna enjoy this, I'm gonna hurt him bad. And so I kept thinking, like, if Dutch and Mike Barnes would go at it, yes, I think Mike Barnes would win. But I don't know, like, it's not impossible that Dutch would get the upper hand. Now, true, everyone will agree with this, that he didn't make the finals, he wasn't number 1, so obviously he wasn't as good as Johnny. But again, he had that terror thing, and he put fear into people. And what if he would have used that on Mike Barnes? Is Mike Barnes completely fearless? Maybe he just hadn't met the right one. I don't know, like looking on all of these small fractions of information, I still think that Mike Barnes would obviously kick his ass, but it would be an entertaining fight. I'd pay to see that fight. Anyway, as usual, I'm more interested to know what you think. Who do you think would win if Mike Barnes faced Dutch from Karate Kid 1? Let me know in the comment section below. I'll catch you later. Okay, that was it. Hope you enjoyed this video. And if you did, see that like button, smash it. And I got some freakishly awesome videos coming up. Better subscribe so you don't miss a beat. I'll see you later. Peace.